Hey guys, so we just had a watching party of Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Cut, extended cut Ultimate Edition, which adds
10 out of 10.
Yeah?
No. I don't think it was enough. It was not enough for 6.
It'll never be a 10.
But it did kind of help a little bit.
Yeah, it basically, they add about 30 minutes of footage, and we'll go over some of the footage that they added to it, so obviously a little bit of a spoiler explanation here. But you should have seen this film by now. I've already told y'all to go out and watch it. There was a little confusion on what my actual rating for the film was. At the end of my actual review, I gave it a 6 out of 10. From a critic's perspective, a 7 out of 10. From a fan's perspective. Then in the spoilers discussion, we realized how stupid things were, and it went down to a 5 out of 10 and then a 4 out of 10. So there's like 4 different ratings from me for this film. So I want to put all that to rest and give you a final verdict right now of what I think of the film. Not the extended cut, but the original film for me is a 5 out of 10. Yeah. It's an average film. It gets so many things wrong, but yet in terms of visuals, action, fighting, you know, casting, it was great in that. But character motivations, situations, so many plot holes, so many stupid things. Lex Luthor,
so stupid.
Superman not really getting much. All really held back the film. So 5 out of 10. However, the extended cut. Let's get some final verdicts on the extended cut now that we've watched it. I've watched this film 5 times now, and the 5th time being the extended cut. So I have a lot of different perspective of the film. But what would you say your final verdict is for the original and the extended cut now that you've seen it? That's supposed to add all this context.
Honestly, this one made me think the original was even more stupid. Because they cut out like 30-second little clips that was like, it validated so much of the movie.
Yeah.
They did.
And so like...
it really needed to be in there, honestly.
It was just so dumb how they cut some of these things out. And then they left in some other scenes that were even more stupid. So, I mean, the original's still a 5. And with this, I'd still give it a 6. I'd give it a 6 just because, like...
slightly above average.
It's slightly above average now because you're no longer running around in the dark without a flashlight. They're like, here's a little bit of light.
Yeah. Joe?
Actually, I don't remember what I gave it. I think it was like a 6 or 7. I said it was above average, and it's going to stay the same.
Just the same. This doesn't add enough to you.
No, it's like, yeah, it does clear up some stuff, but overall... not gonna say it.
For me, guys, I'm ending up at a 5 out of 10. The extended cut does make the film better, but it's not gonna correct all the ridiculous mistakes, all the stupid situations. It's not gonna change Lex's character. It's not gonna change Doomsday's character. It's not gonna change, you know, a lot of this stuff. What it does do, though. And I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm raising my score because I feel that it does enough, Joe, to get an extra point. Because what do we get? Well, we get more context behind the fight of Superman and Batman. Yeah. Superman, Clark Kent gets a lot of footage here. Clark Kent is an actual reporter here. We get to see him go to Gotham. Yep. We get to see him talk with residents in Gotham, talk about how they're scared of the Batman, and it gives a whole lot more context to their fight leading up there. It gives more emotional weight to the Superman character. There's more Superman in this film, and all this Superman and Lois stuff gets cut in favor of a shorter runtime. Now, honestly, they couldn't have shown the film at 3 hours. I don't think any theater would have tolerated
Lord of the Rings is like the only thing that got away with that, and Titanic.
Yeah, but even Lord of the Rings and Titanic, I don't think lasted 3 hours. They pretty much lasted as long as they could last. Yeah. I'm glad that I've seen the extended cut. I think now it's the only way to watch the film now in order to make it somewhat more coherent. Because there are some really important things that it left out. So, does the extended cut make it better? Yes. Is it worth buying? How about this question? In my opinion, yes. Buy the Blu-ray, buy the DVD. However, what's bullshit, though, is that we watched it right now. This is 3 weeks early from when it's actually supposed to release. The only way we got to watch this is a digital copy, a digital HD copy. They've got lots of, this is just so much bullshit, because this is $20, and the fucking physical copy with, by the way, a digital copy that comes with it free, the ultraviolet, the DVD, the Blu-ray, it comes with everything, plus all the additional features, all the commentary, all those little special features. And that's like $24, $25. So you're paying a huge premium right now, $20 to see this thing at home 3 weeks early. That's fucking bullshit. Screw you, Warner Brothers, for doing that. But honestly, Sony does it too. A lot of the movie companies are doing this, where the movies are hitting your house earlier. They're experimenting with this idea, since theaters are sort of failing, except for the theaters here that serve beer and food and have comfy chairs. Clueless. Okay, y'all guys need to do more of that. Anyways, so getting back to the extended cut, let's talk about how it did improve the film for us. Let's go. The very first extended scene was what, Del? What did they extend on first?
They showed more of what was going on with the whole, like, Middle Eastern thing where they were framing Superman. And one of the biggest things they did, well, they didn't do in the original movie, was they just showed a bunch of people getting shot, and Superman showing up, and everyone's like, he did this!
Superman shot up!
What? Yeah. But in this extended cut, they actually had like 5 minutes of footage of them burning the bodies, showing a drone strike, explaining more background, things like that, to where you're like, oh, that's how they thought it was Superman, because they make him look like he eye lasered everybody. Yeah.
They add a little bit more in with the U.S. military being there, these special ops soldiers that are supposed to go in and stop these warlords or whatnot. Yeah. And the U.S. is monitoring the situation with a drone, ready to do a drone strike on these terrorists, right? So they add that element, and they utilize Jimmy Olsen, which this is just one of the things that shows why Zack Snyder is a fucking sniveling idiot and didn't really deserve to continue this, or he just doesn't understand the Superman character. I don't want to call him, that's pretty harsh, because I actually liked Man of Steel, but in here, it's like he completely forgot what he learned in Man of Steel and how he depicted Superman there, which was still dark, but this is like abyss dark, you know, and it's just all wrong. But anyway, in this film, he kills off Jimmy Olsen, and he laughs about it. You know, it's like there's no purpose to put Jimmy Olsen in here when you already created a brand new character, Jenny Olsen, to replace Jimmy Olsen. So did these two characters have relation? No, they don't have relation. He just put Jimmy Olsen in there just to kill him off, you know. And he said that in some of the interviews, and it's just like a prodding at fan. Okay, anyway, so that was supposed to tie in with the U.S. military. The CIA operative was supposed to tie in over there so that they could do their drone strike. They realized that the shit has been compromised or something, and so they said, let's just blow everything up, right? And so no, let's not blow everything up, because we realized that Lois is there and we got operatives on the ground. But the U.S. military, I think, is like, fuck it anyway, let's just blow that shit up. And so the drone is coming down, fires a missile in order to blow up the Afghanistan. And see, that would have made more sense, because then people would have been like, that has to be Superman. The whole place is fucking wrecked. He just came down and just did his eye lasers everywhere and just blew the whole place up, right? Instead of Superman using bullets. It would have made more sense. But Superman stops that drone, right? Wrecks the freaking drone, and then proceeds to go and kill that guy that you saw Superman kill in the first 15 minutes, which didn't make any damn sense. There was so much build up to him actually having to take out Zod, and how emotionally turmoil it affected him that he would never kill again, and all that stuff. And they immediately fuck up the Superman character within the first 15 minutes. Now, you guys are, oh no, he's unconscious, that dude that he blew through the wall. No, that fucking dude is dead. Upon rewatch
through 3 walls. I'm pretty sure he's
we
dead.
Watched this 5
3
times.
Concrete walls.
I watched it 5 times. He murders that dude that's got a gun to Lois's head. And anyways,
if not, he would have been in court with all casted up. Yes, I was there. I saw everything.
So that's the other thing that they expand on. The character who I hated in the film is this lady, I guess, I don't know whether this is Afghanistan or Africa, I forgot where it was, but somewhere out there, and she testifies against Superman. She's like, he came to my village, everybody was killed, and the government, the government, you know, he devastated the government, came in, killed even more people, he's responsible. I hated her. I was like, what the fuck? You lying ass bitch! You coming out nowhere? You weren't even there. No, what the fuck you talking about? Well, it turns out that in this extended cut, she gets fleshed out, and she's in the movie throughout. And you realize something super important. She was lying. That's huge context. Context to this.
Cut something else out. That is a major.
She lied to the senator. She ran to the and towards the end, when things are starting to unravel, and Lex is applying too much pressure on her family and friends, and she's getting scared, she runs to that senator and says, "I lied, you know, and I lied about this." And I was like, okay, this gives way more context. So that's one of the huge things that they took out. That it was Lex and Lois going and finding what Lex is doing. They did have, there's probably two things that they could have left out of the extended cut that felt like it should have been left out. There's some cops, you know, the cops that find Batman in the building, and Joe pointed this out. When Batman's all up in the corner like this, he's like, how did he not see him when
he's like right next to the light.
It's like a 7 foot Batman. He doesn't see him. Anyway, those two cops get way too much time. There's like a minute where they're just like eating donuts and drinking, watching a football game. And
like,
so
guys, report to this crime. Report to. It's like, oh, it's a close game. What's going on?
Yeah. And see, at this football game, I forget where it was filmed. I thought it was filmed in Austin, just this one little bit for the football game where Metropolis is going against Gotham. And they show the score. Metropolis is absolutely destroying Gotham. It's like 58-0 here. And Gotham football players are getting so frustrated that they just keep piling on the score. They start shoving each other. And it's supposed to foreshadow the fight between Gotham and Metropolis, Superman and Batman. But it didn't make sense because later on in the film, you see how it links in with Perry coming in, and he doesn't want Clark Kent to write about Batman. He wants him to write about football. And one of the lines he uses is Gotham underdog's dreams dash 10 yards from glory. As if the game was super close and maybe Gotham could have won or something, or maybe he was being sarcastic, but it didn't make sense with what the score that we saw earlier, and so that's probably why they left it out, and it should have been left out at the extended cut because it just didn't make sense here. Now, after that, Joe, what was some other things here? We had the Clark talking with the reporters.
The courtroom one. We have that one.
What was the courtroom one?
So basically, the courtroom one is Superman finally shows up to trial, and the explosion happens, and he's like, "I can't believe I missed it." It's like I wasn't looking for it, and this and that. But come to find out, with this extended cut, it's made, his chair's made out of lead. Okay,
so it's not really the courtroom. I think it's this one character. A lot was made about a particular actress who was cut from the film, and everybody was wondering her role. Turns out she's this scientist who Lois is bringing the bullet to. She's talking to her about a lot of stuff, and she helps Lois investigate. And what Joe's talking about is this particular character lets Lois know that this wheelchair was lead lined, and somehow Lois knows that Superman can't see through lead. So they've been together, so I can buy that, right? And so she knows that, and she realizes, wait a minute, Superman didn't simply miss it, and he's like being rough on himself because he's like, I wasn't looking for it, it was my fault. He literally could not see it. So that's another huge context thing.
And Lex got lucky because there's no way he would have known.
No, Joe, what are you talking about?
About the lead, Superman can't see.
Oh yeah, no, okay. I thought you were like, I was like, Lex planned the whole thing. Oh yeah, you're talking about he got lucky with the lead.
No, he didn't get lucky because he had to go through X-rays to get into the courthouse anyway to get a bomb through the X-ray scanning machines and stuff that scan for bombs to get into like the government building.
That's not explained. Yeah. But I see what Joe's point is that Lex's plan hinged on Superman not seeing it, and he got lucky with the lead. Yeah, exactly.
Walking in.
Yeah. And so once that bomb explodes, they add some more footage here, and this is Superman stuff. Superman actually saves somebody. He doesn't fucking float there, you know, while this family is like, oh, reaching up, and Zach has this fucking hard-on for this Jesus imagery and this God thing, and I hate it because the comics don't really, they've done a bunch of storylines on that, but they don't focus on it, and he just can't stop focusing on this. We got a little bit of it in Man of Steel, and that's why I like that film better, because it doesn't really, you know, do there. But here it's just constantly in your face. It's like Superman would save this family and go save other people. He wouldn't sit there and float, and he's like, I'm so fucking awesome.
I'm so hot right now.
I would totally do that.
I know you would be doing that, Joe. You'd be like, bask in my glory. Bask in my glory. You know, so I hated that. But here, when the courthouse explodes, he actually saves this lady, managed to save one of the ladies, and this paramedic is like, thanks, but could you give us some space? We're going to work here. Like, you know, kind of a little bit of distrust. And then, you know, when he does that, he kind of walks backward and he looks around and he sees so many injured people and dead people. And it gives so much more weight to the fact that Superman gives up and he's like quits, and he's like, I don't know why I'm fighting for people, and if they don't want me to be their hero and people are trying to frame me for stuff, you know, fuck this.
Yeah. And that was like a 2-minute long, maybe a minute.
That should have been kept in the film. It would have. It gives us more Superman stuff.
Like
you can see he really cares. What else? Jon Stewart was in Batman vs. Superman, but his whole part gets cut. So Jon Stewart's actually talking about one of the things that I hated from the first film. So Jon seems like he's a fan of Superman like I am. About how, you know, Superman doesn't say, you know, truth, justice in the American way anymore. He's not, you know, it's more a globalization kind of thing of Superman. But I guess that really didn't fit in there. And I think that was the second thing that even I would have took out. As big of a fan as I am of Jon Stewart, it just didn't really fit. It was basically a security guard with his feet up watching television, and it was intercut before Lex has his charity dinner or something like that.
Yeah, it was where the servers were for wine.
Right, and it just didn't fit in with the rest of the film, so I'm glad that they took that one out, even though I love Jon Stewart. So, there was another one that women would have loved to have kept in the film, but I really didn't need that. Now, was this in the main film? Batman's Ben Affleck's butthole? Was Ben Affleck's butt?
I didn't examine it that much.
You didn't see no butthole? Oh, I meant just butt cheeks, not butthole. He didn't spread his butt cheeks, but I wouldn't put it past Zack Snyder. Remember what Zack said about Batman and his butt?
I want my movie to be so dark. When he's in prison, I want him to get raped.
Sodomized. We're not making this up. Zack Snyder has this quote out there. I don't know if he was joking that his Batman movie Batman would get sodomized in prison or something like that. I'm like, wow, that's
great,
Zach.
Great,
wow.
Zach. You really
I've lost all faith in you, buddy. But no. So Batman's butt is in this film. So I think it's not as he's working out. It's as after he gets his ass beat or something right then, and before he goes to the charity dinner, before he unveils his car, but it's completely out of nowhere. He's just naked for no reason. So you get a full eye full of Affleck ass,
full moon,
and
we
he's got a pretty.
We could say ass.
Wait, what?
Ass. He's got a pretty badass shower, which is what Joe was saying. But
I thought you were going to say, he's got a pretty ass. What?
That was you. That's on your mind.
That's your mind, dude.
So I'm glad that was left out, because I'm pretty sure I would have remembered that, and everybody would be talking about Batman butt, and nobody was talking about Batman butt. And one of the other good ones was the prison shanking. So that Batman brand has been expanded on, and that gave Superman way more motivation to go out there and stop Batman. You know how Superman shows up right when Batman's trying to get the kryptonite that would hurt him? You know, you're like, what the fuck? Okay, Superman chooses now. Well, it's because Superman has this culmination of seeing these reports and reading on the internet and seeing a guy get branded, and we get more context. That guy goes to prison. He's like, "No, don't put me in prison.
You know what's gonna happen."
And they fucking show it. The guy gets shanked, and it looks like Lex actually hires those guys. They
have the mercenary dude go to the prison and actually talk to the guy and be like, "All right, it'll be done." And then the guy stabs the dude that came in there, which was set up by Lex to specifically frame Batman.
And that makes those pictures that Clark Kent receives.
And then he also talks to his mom, or actually his wife. Yeah, with his wife and the kid. He's like, well...
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to put an end to this. He's like, you can't do it with your pen. You need to
do it with a fist. The only way you stop a guy like that is with his fist. So giving Superman more motivation to go stop this crazed, vigilante out there is what he's thinking. So way more context that they should have kept that in. But one thing that they added that would have added a plot hole. All these ones really wouldn't have added a whole lot of plot holes, but one would have added a big one. Del, do you remember that one? It was the guy in the wheelchair sending back the checks. And I think this was Lex actually sending them, or the guy in the wheelchair sending them to Wayne. And the exact line is, "Sir, these came for," or what is it, Gary, or what was it?
Greg.
Go ahead and take it.
Greg or Gary or somebody had been like not showing the letters with like, Batman or Superman's evil.
No, he sent them all at once. Yeah. It was just Greg's job to go down and
but he withheld them. But anyway, the final one that they got that very morning that he didn't show Bruce or anybody at all was a picture of the Capitol building
on fire.
On fire.
And then the one that shows up in the actual cut is you could also get something's about to happen. You let your family die. But no, in this extended cut, it shows the Capitol building on fire. And you clearly hear the guy saying, "This came for you in the morning," and so Lex's plan hinged on Bruce Wayne not getting his mail within a certain amount of hours. He also bribed
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg was paid off.
Yeah. Who is this great guy? Why did we bring him up?
Because the guy, he was like, remember, he was like, he saw the dude on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, "Get Greg up here now." Or
whatever. Oh, yeah, to give him the papers.
Why isn't he giving his checks?
Why wasn't he giving his checks?
Give him his checks. He sends them back.
Fucking Greg. You should have. You could have prevented that White House, or not White House, but Capitol building.
Yeah.
All right, and that was pretty much the gist of it.
But also, with that being said, with the extended thing, we find out what's that guy's name in the wheelchair?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but we do find out something.
We'll call him Bob.
We'll call him Bob.
He's Bob right now.
Well, the guy in the wheelchair obviously did not intend to die.
Right. That was a little bit ambiguous.
Because I was kind of curious. I was like, did they plan it together? But you come to find out, no.
How do we find that out?
Dell actually found out because there's a fruit and he went grocery shopping.
Yep.
And obviously nobody who plans on dying goes grocery shopping
right before you die. Yeah.
Yeah. And the news also takes this over, and it's so stupid. The news like, is Superman a co-conspirator with this guy?
Those Fox News.
He was gonna build a bomb. What the fuck? Superman doesn't need to build a bomb. If you want to go over there, he just blow the whole fucking place up. He doesn't need
so accurate.
Co-conspirator to build a bomb. Oh my god. So yeah. There's one other thing I want to talk about. So they extend. So Batman was done justice in this film.
Yeah.
This is basically a Batman film more than it is. No, it's a Superman film, but they glorify Batman so much because
Superman's a cameo.
WB has a hard on for Batman after the Christian Bale flicks, and Superman is almost sidelined here. But it's a shame. But anyway, his fight scene is extended by a little bit. It's just given 2 little extra pieces that I don't remember from seeing. So first off, I love Batman in this film. Ben Affleck nailed it out of the park. I was wrong about it, Ben Affleck, and this is the scariest Batman. I'm really looking forward to seeing the standalone Batman film directed and possibly co-written by Ben Affleck. It's going to be great. But this Batman, we thought he was dark, and we were like shocked that he was killing people. You would have been even more shocked if you'd seen these 2 elements. One where he throws that box over his head, right? Yeah. And it hits the guy. The guy slams against the wall, and his head hits the wall, and he slides down. I think the theatrical cut, he just slams against the wall and falls down. In this one, he slams against the wall, blood splatters everywhere like on the back of the wall. Then he slides down, and blood slides down with him, and I'm like, that motherfucker is dead. So all you
dead.
people, oh, he didn't kill any of these guys. He just he hit him in vital spots. No, that dude is fucking dead, and they show him fucking dead.
He was killing a lot.
And then that other one where we were like, oh, that dude stabbed the dude in the heart. No, he didn't fucking stab the dude in the heart. He stabbed him in the shoulder. So they confirmed that. But in the extended cut, Batman comes back, looks the dude directly in the eye, and shanks him in the gut and finishes him off. And you see that the dude's fucking dead.
Yeah.
He finishes a guy off.
Like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Batman had no fucking mercy there. So they restrain themselves in this badass scene that we all love and see. There's a tiny little bit there. So that was another thing. But yeah, so even those things add some context there, it couldn't help, and it really doesn't touch the major problems with the film. The other final thing was the communication, or the communion, which they released on YouTube, and I saw before, which is basically the military spec ops going in and pulling out Lex from this. He should have never had access to this through a fucking Jolly Rancher in a senator's mouth. Should have never had access.
He was like, I really like cherry.
Yeah, cherry.
That's all it takes.
Don't bring in that watermelon shit, okay? But anyway, so he's having a communion or communicating with Steppenwolf, which some people have said is confirmed on Facebook, but I don't know that Steppenwolf is going to be the villain, or definitely in the next film. Well, this was already confirmed by you seeing it here, you know, so he's going to be in the film. It doesn't mean he's the major villain. I hope that's, I hope not. It kind of seems like what they're going to do is Steppenwolf attacks Earth with an army in part 1, because there's a 2-parter. They defeat him, and they're like, wow, that was really hard. And then, you know, fucking Darkseid comes out, and then he's going to be part 2. So that is one potential thing. The other potential one that I've heard rumors on is that Aquaman actually invades the surface world, and he sort of starts out as a bad guy. And then part 2 is Steppenwolf and Darkseid. But it's looking more likely Steppenwolf is a stepping stone to Darkseid.
Pun intended?
Yeah, pun intended. But I'm just really concerned. So that was the 2 possibilities. There's a 3rd possibility that I will go crazy. You saw me angry in the Batman vs Superman review. You're gonna see me even more angry if they do this, and it's that, and they're gonna do it. They couldn't just do this dream sequence with fucking Flash and not follow up on it. I hate this idea of doing Injustice. I mean, part of me wants to see it because I like seeing evil Superman, but that's the main Superman now. You know, it's not an Elseworlds story. This would all be great if it was Elseworlds and we also had great Superman films and this is Elseworlds. No, this is the main Superman, and he's just not getting to be Superman. He's getting to be this Jesus, Savior, God thing that, you know, Zack wants to do, super dark. And now he's going to be this villain. And here's the thing. This whole idea that, oh, Lois is the key. You were right to fear him. Supposedly, we're thinking he's talking about Superman. You're right to fear Superman. And Lois was the key. And then Superman even alludes to it himself, is you took Lois away from me. Yeah. She was my world. So if you kill Lois, all of a sudden Superman goes psycho and remains permanently psychotic after Lois dies. And the reality is that is not the Superman character. It works in an Elseworlds comic book story like Injustice in the video games, because it's interesting because we've had 800, you know, Superman stories, but here we haven't had 800 Superman stories. He hasn't even had a goddamn sequel, you know? And you're already going to say, well, what that implies is that Superman is already mentally unstable. Yeah. And that he's one thing away from snapping and killing everybody on Earth. No! No! This whole idea that, no, I lost Lois, and now I'm going to protect Earth, and I'm going to protect everybody, and I won't let anybody die again, and then I'm going to murder all these people so that can happen. I'm going to have a death army. I'm going to have neo-Nazi, you know, Superman soldier armies. I'm going to ally with Apocalypse, because that's what this fucking, you know, dream sequence was showing. He's allied with Apocalypse's fucking troops, and no! Superman is not mentally unstable like that. That completely misses the point of his character. And it's interesting to explore in the comics, and it's interesting to explore 5 movies down along the line. This is something you can explore if you're Marvel and you went phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and you're like, okay, shit, we need some more shit to explore. But no, fucking WB is exploring at phase 1. It's like, what the fuck?
Phase 1. Let's take it
And
easy.
once your phase 1 is done, WB, what the fuck you gonna do? You just wasted Doomsday. You just wasted
Pretty
Evil
much, they're
Superman.
just blowing their load.
You're blowing your fucking load over everybody, and it is nastiness. No, we don't want it. It's like this morbid curiosity. What is it? Oh God!
I think they're just gonna do it and then redo the entire series again later on. I think they're gonna do what they've done over and over and over, and they're gonna redo everything again and again and again just to get money.
It's terrible. Now, I already have an idea that popped in my head, and you said it earlier. What would you want to see for a Phase 3 DC?
I want to see Darkest Night, dude. I want to see Green Lantern, Darkest Night.
That'd be fucking tight. But you'd have a problem because you'd have to kill off Batman or make it seem like Batman is dead and then go zombie Batman. But that would be fucking sweet. If y'all guys don't know the War of the Light and the Darkest Night, it's awesome. It's a Green Lantern storyline where all the dead superheroes come back as you know, opposition, and oh, it's great. But anyway, so that would be Phase 3. But if they're gonna waste all this shit at this pace. Anyways, so that's our opinion of Batman v Superman, the extended cut. It is a film with a ton of problems, and the extended cut doesn't save it, but it does add much needed context to the film. I can't wait to actually, you know, 3 weeks later, I'm finally going to get commentary. I don't know if there's a legit commentary or some stupid little, you know, featurette. I like real DVD, you know, commentaries with the director and some of the actors talking about it, and maybe I can get a little more context of what he was going with the Jolly Rancher and the fucking AIs not understanding that you're using fingerprints and you're not really.
There's too many little. Just let it go.
English. We could talk about this forever. So there's just too many plot holes, and when this film comes out on Blu-ray, maybe I'll make a one final video just pointing out all of the stupid shit in the film. But anyway.
We did a lot of that already.
I know, and if you haven't seen my Batman vs. Superman review with Nostalgia Critic, please go and watch it after this. We're super, super proud of that project, and it points out a lot of the stuff. But I'm telling you, man, when watching this film for the 6th time now, or the 5th time, you start to see so many things, and it's going to make a great Cinema Sins episode. Looking forward to that, guys. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.